Alright guys, so today's lesson is going to be um, we're going to set up from start to finish a Metatrader 4/5. I use Metatrader 5. I think it's a little better, and it's also more user friendly on your phone. I can't share my screen. Well, I don't know how to share my screen to my PC to show the phone app, but it's going to be ran very similarly. So we'll start with Metatrader 4/5, and then also how to set up Tradovate. If you guys don't know, I am a futures trader, but I've traded every market, as you can see here. Um, forex, I am funded through my forex funds. I've traded futures currently. That's what I'm doing. I've traded options, stocks, crypto, all of it. So, if you guys have any questions about really anything, I'm in here in the server with you guys. So feel free to take advantage of whatever knowledge I have. I'm by no means an expert, but I am able to make money and be profitable. So that's something that most people strive to do. So we'll start here with Metatrader 5. So go to Metatrader 5. There's lots of different brokers. So I'm going to basically take you from wherever you guys are, most likely a lot of futures traders, or sorry, options traders, and show you guys how to trade my alerts, but for options or for Forex or for futures. So with Metatrader 5, you can go here to Metatrader 5, download it for Windows. I already have it downloaded. You can go through your broker. So Alanda is a regulated US broker. You can go through them. But pretty much when you load up, let's see, I already have it loaded, so I'll just launch what I have here. Maybe. There we go. So this is what you're going to look like. This is just a random demo account. Apparently I forgot about it. So you're going to look like this. When it loads up, this is how you're going to look. So you'll have your navigator up here in the view. This is going to be your tabs to control the application, just like any other Windows desktop application would. Um, you're also going to have your data window, market watch. You can click on and off of these things. Strategy tester, which is just a back tester for EAs. They're called expert advisors. They're trading bots. Um, file, all these little things. Insert. You can insert certain indicators or objects or scripts. Chart, very similar to TradingView. You can just change how you want your bar chart. You want to be looking at a bar chart, candlestick chart. You can customize, if you want it to be green or white or what have you. You can change all those things. Then you can navigate windows, etc., etc. If you right click here on the market watch, you can go down and hit the symbols button, and then it'll have a cutout like this. Depending on your broker, you're going to have a lot of different options here. So Forex obviously is going to be your foreign exchange pairs. Indices are going to be your indexes. So your US 500 is going to be equivalent to when I call out ES. You can trade the US 30, the Dow Jones, or the NASDAQ with US 100 on this broker. Sometimes they label these differently, like some brokers will call it SP 500 and NAS 100 instead of how this broker has it labeled here. But essentially, if you are using a Forex broker, you would double click there, go onto your SPY, and just drag and drop. And I actually already have a chart here. And as you can see, you can trade exactly like a futures trader. You would just trade a little bit differently. So later on in the lesson, we'll talk about margin requirements. Forex brokers, unregulated Forex brokers, which obviously when they're unregulated, you get some pros and cons. Big pro being you get 500 times leverage. Con being that they're not regulated by the U.S. stock exchange or anything like that. They're not regulated by the rules that our U.S. brokers are. So you want to make sure that you're withdrawing money pretty regularly from there, and not putting in. I'm not saying they're going to steal your money, but you definitely want to go with a reputable, unregulated broker. For SP 500 to buy a position, let's see. We'll open up a demo account real quick. We'll just do an Oanda demo. And then there's the login. That's the demo account. So on Metatrader 5, up here at the top in your chart window, you can double click this button, and this is a one-click trader. So if I want to sell, I'll click this button. If I want to buy, I'll click this. And then down here is your kind of your action toolbar. This is where you can, if you had a position open, you could hit a little X button right here. Our lesson's right in the middle when everybody else is closed. So I'll show you on a forex pair. But if I want to buy, I just click this button. You got to accept the terms and conditions that you're doing one-click trading. You can buy there, sell in one button. Some brokers will allow you to hedge, so you can buy and sell. And then this little X button on the side will close your position there. So that's just a really brief overview of Metatrader 5. Without diving into it, this at least gets you enough to where you can navigate it and enough to trade at least. So if you are going with an unregulated broker or even a regulated broker, a lot of brokers will use Metatrader. So concerning leverage, like I said, unregulated brokers will give you up to 500 times leverage. So what that means is your $1 will buy $500 worth of something. So if you want to buy an entire share of the S&P 500, or SPX rather, it's going to cost you $38.20 right now. Divided by, 38.20 divided by 500 means you only need $7 to buy a full position in SPX. Now that does mean that if your position went down $7, if you only had $7 in the account and it went down $7, you're obviously going to get liquidated. But having that leverage is nice. Futures contracts move $50 per point, and so you'll see here that $50 times 7.64 is only 382. The best broker that I know of in terms of margin requirements is Tradovate. They require $550 per mini contract, and so this you obviously need less margin to move very similarly to a futures contract. And so yeah, that's pretty much Metatrader 5 here. And really it's best if you just get hands-on. That's why I kind of went quick here. We also have a good amount of content to get through, but really just best to get your hands on and demo before you go live for sure. Just go over here to the accounts as soon as you log in and create your account. Right click on accounts and open an account. You can search for any broker. Like I said, I use Oanda, and then you can paper trade exactly how anybody could live trade. So now we'll go over Tradovate, and let's see here. I want to talk about margin. Okay, so we'll go through the Tradovate system real quick. Oops. Tradovate's a lot more user-friendly. This is the account I use all the time for people, for my classes. Let's go over to here. So you can make an account just with as you saw, just a Google account. And then you can paper trade in minutes. So this is the platform I use. I obviously do not paper trade, but I'm a funded trader. So, but this is the platform I use primarily. So the markets are closed right now until 6 p.m. They close all the time for 1 hour from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Um, but this is obviously way more user friendly. Um, but you also pay for that with having to have a little more margin. So with futures, if you don't already know, you can buy either a mini or a micro contract. If I go with a micro contract, it is going to move $5 per point. A point is the difference between 3,800 and 3,801. So one whole dollar essentially. A lot of times you'll hear people talk about ticks. Those are a quarter of a cent, or sorry, a quarter of a dollar, so 25 cents. ESU, which would be a mini contract, will move $50 per point. So if SPY goes or SPX goes from 38.23 to 38.24 as soon as the market opens, and I was long, I would be up $50. If it went down, I would be down $50. On MESU, which is the micro version, I would be down 1/10 of that size. So I would be down or up $5. So that's important because if I Google top step margin requirements, or sorry, not top step, Tradovate, that's just the people I use. Tradovate. You come here, and then this is what you need to trade futures. Now, I'll go over really briefly how to trade my alerts without trading futures exactly. You can still catch them on SPY or SPX options contracts, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are options traders. But if you ever wanted to come over to the futures side of things, you need $550 in your day trading margin account, and it has to be a margin account. This is for Tradovate. Thinkorswim / TD Ameritrade, they require more margin. They require, I believe, a quarter of the initial margin here, while Tradovate only requires your day margin if you're day trading. Obviously, if you have $550, you probably should not be spending it on one mini contract because ES only has to go against you 10 points for you to be liquidated. So that takes us to the micro contracts, or MES. M is micro. These you need $50 to $5 per contract. And like I said, they move 10 times slower. So you're only gaining or losing $5. But for today, if we pull up, well, actually I'm already on here. If we pull up the range of today, where's my ruler? Or price range? This whole move was $29. So you would have made, almost 30. So you would have made almost $150 there. This move here, $20. This move here, $20. So you don't, as you can see, you don't need a ton of money to make a ton of money. You just need to be smart with how you're entering and exiting. Obviously, same thing with options contracts. But with this, instead of you having to go out and pick an options contract, as you know, options don't move linearly with the underlying asset. They move with their own supply and demand, but also obviously if SPY's going up and I have a SPY call, my money's gonna, or my premium's gonna go up. With futures, that's not the case. Futures move solely based on how the underlying increases or decreases. So if I'm long one MES contract, then if ES goes up 10 points, I'm going to make $50. If it goes down 10 points, I'm going to lose $50. So Cree said you guys had some questions on margin, and hopefully we'll have some time here at the end to go over some Q&A. But you can Google whatever broker you're looking to use. There's lots of them. There's NinjaTrader, there's Tradovate, Thinkorswim, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers. Everybody really does futures. You just want to find a broker that has good margin requirements. I use Tradovate because, well, I don't have to worry about margin because I'm funded. But if you were working with like a smaller account, you would only have to have $55 to front that. So I'll show you guys how. I actually just got out of a lesson with somebody about how to follow futures alerts on options. So we'll hop over to Thinkorswim here. Alright, so we'll use the on-demand feature, and we'll take we'll take a, as you can see, we literally just got off a lesson here. So we'll reset our positions here, and we'll switch over to Crease Empire. It'll be a little three-parter here. So I'll go to my channel here. On demand doesn't have yesterday's data up yet, so I'll have to go from Monday. Monday the 27th. And we'll take this guy here and timestamp it. So I alerted at 11:21, and I alerted I was buying. So if you guys are options traders, that means I am long. Okay, what's going on here? Oh boy. As you can see, I'm having some difficulties. Let's try again. While that's loading up, sorry for this. Thinkorswim is a great program when it works. When it doesn't work, it's very frustrating. So anyway, I alerted this at 11:21, right? So I alerted I was long ES, aka buy ES. My stop loss was really tight, 3 points. So for SPY, that's equivalent to about 30 cents. So I'm playing it really tight. You know, a little higher risk, higher reward. For my futures guys, that's for a 3-point mini contract, that's going to be an $150 loss. This play ended up going 250%, which is equivalent to 2.5 R. And so instead of, you know, losing 150 bucks, they made whatever that is, $425. So we'll go here to on demand, and we'll do a couple of these. I believe I said 11:21. 11:21. And what you would do is essentially treat this as if it were a SPY or SPX call out. So I'm going to go over to my trade data, options chain, reset that, and I'm along ES. So on SPX, for those of you big boys who have big accounts, you could look anywhere along here for an options contract. So earlier I did this, so I already know the outcome of that guy there. So we're going to go with a little further out of the money to get that delta ramp up, and we're going to buy and just see what that alert would have done for you if you were to enter SPX contracts. And we'll do the same thing for an SPY contract. So we'll go here a little further out of the money, buy 10 of those at market. Now I play very fast, sometimes minutes long. So copy that ID, come over here, 11:21 to 11:25, 4 minutes long. And so we'll fast forward here to 11:25. Oops, that's 26. 11:25, and pause. And here's the number we're looking at, P&L percentage. So what I've found is that if you were to trade SPY or SPX contracts, they run about anywhere from 10 to 30% of whatever percentage I called out. So yesterday I had a 3,700% play. Obviously that's going to be very, very rare. With that play, it's different because I caught pretty much 3/4 of the trend yesterday. And so if you picked a far out of the money contract, there was a contract, I believe it was the 3770 puts. You could have bought it for 27 cents and it went up 4,100% profit. But likewise, if you bought something a little closer to the money, it only went up 500%. So, you know, while still impressive, I called out 3,700%, which is 37 times my risk. If you bought a SPX contract that was closer in the money, you still made 500%, you know, nothing to bat an eye about. If you bought a SPY contract, you're somewhere between 500 and 4,100%, probably right in the middle, 2,100% or so. But here for this call out was about 4.5 minutes long, 5 minutes long, and it cleared 30% profit. And that was because I alerted buy ES, which means I'm going long. So the reason I trade futures is, other than that it's running linearly, alerting futures is valuable to anybody because it tells you where we're at in the market, right? If I'm long ES, then you can look at the chart and say, okay, well, that means he's probably bullish. Well, definitely bullish. Let me see what he is likely looking at, right? So if you're seeing what I'm seeing, then you could enter a SPY contract, a SPY call, and it would be the same concept as going long or buying a futures contract. So you don't necessarily have to trade Metatrader 5 or Tradovate to take part in the results that I'm getting over here, right? So you can trade SPX or SPY contracts very similarly. So that was one example of a buy. So we'll go up here to a sell. So we have, this is on the 22nd at 11 o'clock. Okay. So we'll clear our position here. 22nd, and we're going to go down to 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. And wait for that to buffer. I already did because I already went over this an hour ago. So I alerted at that time that I was selling ES. Again, very tight play. Ended up going to 450% in 3 minutes, 11:03. So start at 11 o'clock and we'll go top down. So if you're an options trader, here's what I would do. I would load up SPY. I'm going short. Look for high volume over here. You can go either close to in the money. We'll actually compare them. So here's a further out of the money contract. We'll buy 10 of those puppies. We'll get something right at the money, but with a tighter spread. We'll get 10 of those guys. And then if you're a big boy, you can go to SPX. Again, we're short, so something probably a little tighter spread. I mean, these aren't horrible, but go here, 940. Get 10 of those guys. And you'll see the difference in why further out of the money contracts will ramp up pretty darn quickly. Get that one, and then we'll go here. So like I said, this was a 3-minute play. 3 minutes. And we'll take a look at each of these contracts. So SPY, pretty darn even, right? 33%, 34%. So not a huge benefit going a ton up further out of the money. Other than that, you can buy more contracts. SPX, obviously, we have a further disparity. So we have 45%, we have 41%, and the far out of the money one, we only got 34%. So this is about 10, like I said, about anywhere from 10 to 20% of what I alert. That's pretty close to what the trim's going to be. So again, you're going to go see where I'm going. If I'm selling, I'm bearish. Earlier, this one was a buy. Well, actually, let's do this one real quick. We have time. That one was alerted at 10:28. So we'll go through this last one. Hopefully, you guys will have a pretty good understanding after that. So 10:28. And this was a buy signal. So again, something pretty close to in the money. We'll get 10 of those puppies. Get something further out of the money. Tight-ish spread, 10% spread there. Again, this is the risky run with SPX. The big benefit with SPX is that if I caught a 50-pointer here, if this went down to 37.30, this 90-cent contract's now worth $19. So the ramp up of premium as you get closer in the money with SPX contracts is much higher than SPY contracts, but it costs more money and also it moves more wildly. But we'll get some SPY contracts here. So you're looking for something with pretty good volume, right? And then we'll get some out of the money contracts, some far out of the money contracts here. Then let's see when my last trim was here at 550%. As you can see at 10:40, so a little longer play, 16 minutes or so. We will head back over here. 10:40 was the alert, right? We've got some close in the money, or closer to the money contracts, some further out of the money contracts, and you'll see the difference here when it's done buffering. All right, so our closer in the money contract actually performed a little better here. I feel like that's not correct, but it could be. So 32% here. SPY is now in the money. You're up $50, $47 per contract for 36% and 41% for the further out of the money contract. So a little better return there, and you can trim more. Obviously, the issue with getting super cheap contracts is that you run into commissions and fees if you're not working with a commission-free broker. So always got to be mindful of that. But that goes to show you that, you know, this track record I have here. Where did I post it? Down here. 97.30% win rate, 18,150% profit. So if you take 10, even just take 10% of that, I mean, 1,800% profit on some options contracts would be, a lot of people would kill for that. So that just goes to show you that my alerts over here aren't just for my futures guys. You absolutely can trade them as an options trader. See where it says 0.10 here. Yep, so that's called a lot. So 0.10 on SPX 500. Depending on your broker, this will either move $10 per point move or it'll move 10 cents per point move. You just got to check with your broker, but that is called a lot size. Osprey. Yeah, so what I mean by the broker is FTMO, that would be worth $10 per point. Same with Cedar FX. On my forex funds, that's worth 10 cents per point. So if you hover over SPX 500, if you're on iPhone, if you hard click it and then hit specifications, actually do that for me so that I can see, because then it'll tell you how many contracts you're buying. If you're buying one contract, it's going to be worth 10 cents. Some
Wait, what does it
brokers
say specification at?
hard click on your like watch list where you can select it. It's
Uh,
a or it might say details.
I'm on whatchamacallit? I'm on iPhone.
Yeah.
S-
So um, hit that little top arrow here. Go back to your homepage where it tells you like the bid and the ask, and then click it, and then you should see where it says trade chart.
Detail statistics.
Yep, details,
Okay.
and then screenshot that for me because I'm not 100% what Osprey is. Yeah, so you're buying 100 contracts. So
Oh wow.
so for if you were to do a one lot play here,
Mm-hmm.
it would
Point
move
zero zero one.
1.00. It would
Oh, okay.
if you were to do 1.00, you would be buying 100 shares of ES right there.
Okay, I got you. I get it now.
So yours is actually buying 10 shares, and point zero 0.01 would be buying one share.
So I'm buying 10 shares, and so I do 10 times how much SPX 500 is.
For how do you mean?
No, that's not right. No, no, because SPX is worth 3820.60 right now, and I'm
Yeah,
buying 10 shares.
yeah.
So how much am I getting? How much am I putting in?
Well, you need to calculate. Here, we'll do it. So for 10 shares of 3822, you need 30. You're gonna buy 38,000, but you're getting 500 times leverage, so you need $76.44.
Oh,
But that's gonna move $10 per point, so you're gonna get if you only have a $76 account. Obviously you might not, but if you do, you
uh,
you only need to lose 7 points to get liquidated. But
mm,
that's how it would work. So for Osprey, you need a lot less leverage, but with high leverage means high risk, high reward. So
all right. Real quick, let's say you earlier SPX play, and
hmm
you said the stop loss would be 3 points. Like let's say you wanted to sell it, and the stop loss would be 3 points. So do I whatchamacallit? Do I just put the stop loss like below 3 points? Like right now it's 3820. So stop loss would be 3817, right? Or 3823, sorry.
if I'm short, it would be 3 points higher. But
Yeah, yeah.
I never set a hard like a limit stop loss or sell because I refuse to get wicked out. So I'll always alert when I'm out. But you also,
Okay.
especially with with guys who are using offshore brokers like Osprey, um, you got to realize that like if I'm alerting that 3822, I might be alerting 3820 because that's what it actually is. Um, but your 3822 is going to move identically. You're just going to be 2 points higher or lower. So
So you
like
don't go ahead.
so like you just got to account for that and also look at the chart because I'm alerting for futures specifically while you're trading indexes through an offshore broker. So theirs is going to have a little higher or lower quote, but in terms of how it moves, it's going to move identically. So
Okay.
if I'm 500% in profit, you also will be if you got in as soon as I got in.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? We've got a little bit of time, but we're gonna do a how I do top-down analysis with my strategy for swings and scalps. But do we have
I,
any
I got
questions?
a last question. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know how you alert ES like to sell or buy?
Uh huh.
Would it be the same thing for the SPX? Because I don't have. There's ES is not on here.
Yep. Yep. ES is the S&P 500 futures.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yep. All right. So we'll got about 15, 20 minutes left. We'll go how I do a top-down analysis for swings, both applicable for day trades, but also, or sorry, for both applicable for options, but also if I'm looking for overall trend in the market. So I'm a stratter. If you guys don't know what the strat is, I would highly recommend Googling it. It's Google The Strat by Rob Smith. Opened up and changed my trading for the better for sure. I was already trading pretty good systems and pretty profitably, but as soon as I started implementing the strat, my trading saw a whole new light. So with the strat, I start from regardless of where I'm looking for a day trade or a scalp or a swing trade. I go all the way from the month down to the 1 minute chart. So if I'm looking, let's pull up. Actually, somebody give me a ticker, any ticker at all, something that might look good for a swing or anything like that. Anybody have a
Coin.
what is it?
Coin.
Quinn.
Coinbase.
Oh,
Coinbase.
coin. Oh, this doesn't look good for a swing. uh, yeah, so we'll go coin. So I'll start with the month. Obviously, we're in an inside month. There's no reason to be bullish on coin long term until 133.59. I'm actually looking for it to take out these lows at 40.25. We have 21 days left in the month, so I'm sorry, that's 21 hours. So month's almost ending. Really, I would love for this to close as an inside bar, also called a compression candle, and then for the next month to start lower than that candle low, because that's a 212. It's an actionable signal for the strat, and that would tell me that we're likely heading pretty far down. We might even be in the teens before the end of July. But as far as the week goes, I already know that we're inside bar month, so then I'll head to the week. And this is part of top-down analysis. So the month tells me that we're already in a downtrend. So the week tells me that I could be short-term bullish right above this swing high. Because if we take out this high, right, if we go something like this and take out this high, this is now a higher high. And then I would wait for a pullback here, and then for a move starting to go up, because this would be a higher low, indicating a change of direction. So we went up, higher high, higher low, higher high. So this is where I would be looking to swing, but really we're nowhere near that yet. So we've already established month is bearish, week is bearish. Let me clear this up here. So now I'm expecting pretty similarly on the daily. Yep. So daily, I could be looking for a short-term swing to the call side above 64.23, and then maybe if I catch that early on maybe a pullback or something, my first target would be up here at 83. And that's essentially how you would be looking for a swing. As far as entries, that's all going to be dependent on your strategy. For me, I run the strat, so I'm looking for a compression candle, and then playing off of that compression candle, breaking the previous high or low. So here we have a perfect compression candle, inside bar pretty much all day. And so as soon as this breaks lower, since I'm already bearish, as soon as this broke the prior low, I would be going short as soon as it broke that low. So I'd have that line marked, right? Let's see, what day was that? 24th. I'd have that day marked, and we didn't actually break until, well, we actually broke right here at 11 o'clock. So again, let's use this amazing feature of on demand. We know that we broke at 11 o'clock. Let's go there and see what the options contracts look like for a put. Remember, we're bearish on the month, we're bearish on the week, we're bearish on the day. We should be bearish on the 4 hour and 1 hour as well, and we're just looking for a good entry before we can get in. So we pull up coin here. This is on a Friday, so I don't love swinging over the weekend, but you can, and not a ton of volume. But for kicks and giggles, we'll see what happens here. So we'll buy contracts. Again, I'm not a fan of doing this, so I probably wouldn't ever do this, but let's see what happens when we fast forward to end of day on the 27th, because that's as far as we can go. So 1500, 27, and we already have a good feeling that we're going to be in profit here. So again, this is covering swings, but when you're day trading, you should also go all the way from the month down to the 1 hour and further down to get a good grasp of where you're at in the cycle. And this is essentially why we don't swing over the weekend. Down 62%. Oh no, I'm wrong. I sort of expected us to be down, but I entered calls instead of puts. So let's go back here. Sorry. And let's get same concept, but puts. This actually has some good volume, 10% spread. I would take that any day of the week. So let's go ahead and get 10 of those contracts for kicks and giggles. And then we'll fast forward to Monday at 15. We'll call it 15:30. So half an hour before market closed. So again, we went from the month. Where are we at on the month? Right, we're forming an inside bar. We're not bullish until on the month until we cross over this bar's high, 134. Okay, cool. So we're bearish on the month. Go to the week. Okay, we have a slight pullback here. Now we can be, short-term bearish for a 1 or 2 week swing over 83.78. But really, I'd love to be short still. And then here's the daily again. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, we made a higher high. I'm looking for the next leg down. Higher low. 4 hour chart. 2-1-2 reversal. Perfect setup. Entry again on the 24th was under that line, and we would have gotten in here. Probably would have seen some drawdown, 10, 20, 30% drawdown here. But again, we're not bullish until there's room to go until $84, right? So let's see where we will be at. Be up 56% on that contract. So that goes to show you a swing play there. Let's do one more ticker. Who else has a ticker? If not, we'll do Tesla. I've actually been eyeing Tesla. Another one that's going to be an inside bar month, unless we have a crazy day tomorrow. Bearish. Under 540, we're kind of free falling. We've already cleared out this higher low. We actually made a higher high. I'm looking short for a higher low. We're still bearish under 700 bucks. Weekly chart tells me something very similar. Back here in May, and while you're testing, this is what you should be looking for. I see a perfect 2-1-2 setup. So as soon as this week closed, as soon as this closed as an inside bar, I'm looking for a short opportunity here. And so obviously we're still short. Here's another 212, a lot of 212s opportunities. So we'll go ahead and take this May contract here. As soon as we went short under that low to 212, 699, and your entry would have been on May 18. Sorry, just trying to keep the recording clear for you guys. So May 14, right? Or sorry, May 18. So go back to Thinkorswim on demand. We're gonna backtrack to May 18, and probably right in the middle of the day there. Call it 11 o'clock, 11:30. If you really want to, you can get even more technical and go to the 1 hour chart and see as soon as that level was broken on May 18 was actually as soon as the opening bell. So 10:30 is where we'll start actually. Alright, and we were looking at the Tesla contracts. Let's wait for those to buffer. Just buffering up here. So I would be looking for either the monthlies or the weeklies, depending what I'm seeing, right? So if I'm on the daily time frame, and we're in May, right, 212, I know that my first target's at least 660. But really it could take us a couple more days, and we're likely going down here. So, you know, end of May contract would have been perfect. So let's get the May 27th. And we're short. Obviously, we want to get a good strike a little further out of the money. Let's see, these are a little expensive. Look at these guys here. And then the next day, you see your two down, another 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, fake out, 2 down. And then as soon as it hits each of these price levels, you're trimming, right? So, oops, I was right. It was May 3rd. Where was I at? Oh, I'm in 2021. Let's go to 2022. How about it? So, likewise, here's your price targets. Remove these. First one's 680, and then you're looking that would be after that. You're looking left. So right there's your next one, 667 or 668, and then right where I pinged again, 630. What did we get? We got the 650s. So back to our chart. We hit our first take profit on the 20th of May, then the 23rd and 24th. So we'll go to the 24th. Go to 1530. And this is how you guys should backtest your strategies for sure. Use the on-demand feature on Thinkorswim. It's free. It is very accurate, and it's going to be the best thing for your trading because you're able to backtest and see where price is moving, or not see where price is moving, and then react to how price is moving. You can even use the internal chart feature, but options contracts will move identically to how they did. So anyways, that Tesla contract, that put, is sitting at 433%. And it took 5 days, but 400% is pretty dang good. So again, to recap, you're going from the month, and you're just trying to identify where you're at in the cycle, right? Okay, we're higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low, or sorry, a lower high, because we didn't clear this level up here. Lower high. So now we're looking for a lower low. Cool. Now we're bearish. Go down to the week. Higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Bearish on the week. Daily, higher high, or sorry, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Bearish on the day. So if I'm looking at Tesla, there's no reason to swing a call right now on Tesla. Not until we clear these higher highs, or sorry, these lower highs. There's no reason to be bullish on Tesla long term until we clear that at 790. Now, if you're down here, I might be looking at buying a couple Tesla shares, but for option swings, there's just no sign of life for Tesla to swing calls. Now, to swing puts, a different story. We just made a lower high, so honestly, swinging a put is not a horrible idea. So now I'm going down to the 4 and the 1 hour and looking for an entry off a compression candle for my strategy, or for your strategy if you use EMAs, if you use Bollinger Bands or Fibonacci retracements, what have you. For me, the 1 hour chart would have had a trigger right here on the 17th of June. And so that would have been a perfect trigger. Your take profits already were hit right there based on this level. It hit the very next, 2 days after. If I'm looking at, I actually can't see because on demand hasn't picked up yet. But if I were willing to bet, I'd bet some puts would be pretty heavy in the money, and you'd be probably up 100 or 200% just off of swing contracts right there. So scalping is very, very similar. So you should have an idea of where you're at on the week and the month, but I would go day to day down. So, and this is kind of similar to how Cree does his daily levels. So you go from your day and then mark out where you're going, right? So Tesla again, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So now I'm looking to either bounce off this area, because this technically is an equal low, not a lower low. So I'm either looking for a bounce here, or we're looking for a full-blown boom town, right? Looking for something of that nature. And so if I'm looking at Tesla for tomorrow, right, bearish. Unless we break over the high or the low of the previous day, we're bearish. So 66, I don't like that number, but 667 or 694, those are the two levels where over 694 playing calls, under 667 we're playing puts. Ultimately, I would love to play puts more than calls because I know that the overall trend is my friend. So then I'm going down to the 1 hour and then seeing, okay, is there even a better area where I could get in? Sure. Right here would be an even, closer level, or same level for the low. So then you're going down to the 15 minute. And you just keep going down until wherever level you're comfortable for an entry. Some people like to play off the 15 minute. I'm all for that. Yesterday, you would have gotten your entry trigger here, 212. Rejection of this support, today, you would have rejected this support that was formed, 212, and you would have caught all this move, 16 points, and your stop loss is 4 points wide. So you're likely taking, a 25, 30% loss if it hits the loss, or you're taking probably 50 to 100% if you're getting a win. Same concept, you can go down to the 5 minute and even look for further entries. I trade off the 1 minute for futures. Probably 90% of the time I do not trade 1 minute on options. It's just too sporadic. Options, you need to catch more of the trend than futures. But if you're looking for 20 to 30% winners for a regular scalp, or if you get if you catch that 3,700% winner from yesterday. That one went 4,100% profit. So it's definitely possible to make money anywhere in the markets, but those are just a few ways how I do it myself. So now we've got a couple minutes here. Open it up to some Q&A, general Q&A, trading Q&A, life, whatever you want to talk about.
What do you expect SPY or ES to do tomorrow or during the week?
So
What levels are you watching?
first I'm going to look at the economic calendar. We're Thursday. Wait, today's not Thursday, is it? No, today's Wednesday. So tomorrow we have CPI. So a couple fundamental events. Natural gas shortage, so keep note of that at 10:30. Um, I'm looking at above these levels, so 38.40 long term, or for the day I'm bullish, and under 3,800. So 40 points wide. Those are the exact levels that I'm looking at. If it reaches 38.40, if it clears this, you're probably looking at another 40 points until your next trim. My horizontals, there you go. And then ultimately your price target would be 100 points higher, but that's unlikely to happen in a single day. Likewise, if you break under that level, your next support's at 37.80, and then 37.35. So those would be the levels I'm watching for tomorrow. But really, I'll just scalp the in between as well. There's always, if it's moving, you can make money moving it. So, but those would be the big picture levels I'm looking at for ES tomorrow / SPY, same thing.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions from anybody?
I got a question. Could you show me that counter that you're using for your trigger? Basically, it's with a long wick at the bottom after the price got pushed down.
Which one?
You was saying on longer time frame, your trigger counter like for to be bullish or bears once you see the trend.
Oh, yeah, my triggers are going to be these yellow candles. They're called compression candles, inside bar candles. If you have time and can look up the strat, you'll learn all about them. Basically, they're candles that don't take out the high or the low of the previous candle. So this inside bar didn't take out the previous candle's high or the low. It just stayed in the middle and chopped and built up momentum. So then as soon as it broke down below here, this would have been your entry trigger, because now you've built up enough momentum to push down.
Yeah,
So,
you didn't. I see it. Yeah, I couldn't see it when you showed it because the line was covering the wicks. That's
oh,
why
gotcha. Yeah,
I
so
appreciate.
Is that an indicator you use?
it is, but you can trade without the indicators. So I'll show those indicators there, and it'll be in the recording as well. It's called Strat Assistant, is the one that colors the candles. So one bar would be colored yellow. And then hashtag the strat draws the high and low of certain time frames. So I have it drawing the high and the low of the 3 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, different colors, so that I can take a quick look and kind of see where we're at on the trend without having to switch time frames. But like I said, this will be in the recording, and then if you guys get time, I would highly recommend looking up the strat. Like I said earlier, it's hands down what solidified my trading, and kind of I was already, without even knowing it, I was already trading the strat, but just knowing the system has made me a much more consistent trader for sure. But as far as trend goes for ES, if it, ES is tough because it's very fundamentally driven as well. Like, tomorrow we could come out saying we're slashing gas prices and inflation's no longer a big issue, and then we're just doing something like this. But if tomorrow comes out and we have a gas shortage, because I saw that on there, natural gas storage, if we have a shortage, we're probably looking like that. So as doom and gloom as it looks, it's not my job to make it go up or down. I just need to make money as it goes up or down. So just be ready to trade whatever you see in front of you, and try not to have a bias on, I shouldn't have a bias thinking, oh, ES has to go up, like people are losing money in their 401ks and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't care. It doesn't care that people are losing money, because there's a fear factor in the market. So just be ready to trade whatever you see, and that's how you can guaranteed make money. Any other questions before I head out? This will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube by tonight, the unedited version. Then obviously the edited version will take a little bit for me to get through.
Can you share your YouTube channel?
Yep.
In your okay.
Yep, I will. I'll share it. I'll get with Cree to see if he wants me to share it somewhere more permanent than my bot. But for now, I actually think it's in my bot right now. Yep. So this actually was a free or not a free a one-on-one session I did with a member, not from this Discord, but a different member, and just went over. He was having a lot of struggles with small wins and big losses. So this will link you to my YouTube. I'd highly recommend watching this video as well. It's a good session, and hopefully it helps you guys too. So with that being said, unless anybody has anything, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. It was a good turnout today.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
I'll see you guys.